Wow, so beautiful. Oh, Kirsten Pigston, how are you doing? Hi. Now I gotta stand this way. It's not fair. I don't get to look at the view so you can look at the view. This is how this thing works. I don't think I want to sit here. I think it's just you and me right now, so what's going on? Tell me. Hello, Kirsten. I hope you're well. Hi. I hope all your chakras are in alignment. And let me get the mountain in the background there. So I'm here in Sedona, and it is the next phase of the wild ride of being on planet Earth, not being anchored to any one sort of routine or situation, to reinitiate the biological ability to go with the flow, no matter how great that inner resistance is. The fear, the little child who goes kicking and screaming into the middle of the night. No, I don't want to grow. No, I don't want to expand. Oh my God, it's so beautiful right now. Good, I'm glad to hear you're balancing. Nice, Kirsten. Check out, I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna just flip to the front. The moon in the sky right now. We just had a little fresh rain in Sedona, and God, that's gorgeous. It's magical, it's alive. We got some sunset energy on the Thunder Mountain behind me. And just taking a minute to sit with you and hang out and see if we can get anything good together going on. So let's hang out, let's talk. Again, I'm here in Sedona. I just got here a few days ago, and Sedona is a very interesting place. I'm sure some of you have been here. It is a magical vortex of Candyland galactic infrastructure. Yeah, I do too. That moon with the sky, the moon just went behind some clouds right now, but if it comes right back out, I'm going to show it again because it's poster worthy. Yeah, it feels good to be here in Sedona. Sedona requires, I feel, always a lot of surrender. There's so much going on. There's always an activity. There's always a hike. There's always an amazing yoga class to go to. There's always a little spiritual gathering or a poetry gathering. You're like, oh, but wait, just can't I be alone in my little cave and be hyper-focused on me? So for me, that's a challenge sometimes. No, moon's not back out. It's still behind a big rain cloud. But other than that, I just got out of, I don't know if it's called holotraffic breathwork, but I just got out of a breathwork class. I've never taken one of those before, where they play really intense basic trance music and you breathe in and out of your nose and mouth to the rhythm of the trance music for about an hour. And let me tell you, my whole body was like numb and pulsing with electricity, and spasms were happening, and just, it was crazy. It was wild. I had no idea that you could do that with breath, and it would just take you into this altered state. It's very powerful to do breath work like that. Recently, my mornings have been, my routine is I've been getting up about 6:30 and doing the Black Tezcatlipoca breath work right now, which is on the last call I told you about. It's the breath work to cleanse out all the negative aspects of your shadow. And for the Toltec, they believe you have this thing, the Chico Mostok, which is your cave of power. And within that cave of power, we've lost some of our power. We've lost it to the negative aspects of our internal dialogue, the aspects of self that tells us negative things or berates us, or the aspects of our sexual expression that have created misconduct with others. All these things are part of our shadow that, in order to become a fly, to fly high in the sky, you've got to clean up that act, because, along with lessening your engagement with distractions, I was saying to a friend, yeah, Kirsten, that breath work is nuts. You breathe in and out of your nose rapidly for an hour, crazy shit will happen. Pretty fast, actually. And I wanted to leave my body pretty quick. But I thought I was supposed to stay in class. Turns out I could have left my body if I wanted to. The teacher was like, "Oh, you should have done that." I was like, "But I thought I was supposed to stay present and keep breathing in and out of my nose." But yeah, the title is just called breath work, but I don't know if there's any other technical names. I'll find out and let you know next time. But yeah, but mostly my breath work has been getting up at 6:30 and basically meditating for an hour and a half, doing this Black Tezcatlipoca shadow work, breath work, which is amazing. And you go through 8 different realms of breath, 8 movements, where you, like I said, you examine the enemy within and you clear it out. You bring in solar energy for 13 breaths, and then you exhale for 9 breaths, and you get rid of the negative aspects of self. It's really cool. Hello, Jessica. Nice to see you again on here. Hey, everybody. Cool. So glad we're hanging out in Sedona together again. Hopefully there's some good sunset energy soon. Some pink clouds may show up or may not, but either way, we get to hang out. There was something really interesting that happened to me on the road. I was in Santa Cruz a few days ago, and before that in the Bay. And yeah, Sedona is really, really pretty. And it was interesting. It was, doing the cleansing breath work that I have been doing with this Black Tezcatlipoca, shit's bound to come up, right? I'm clearing stuff, so things are gonna come up. And it's always interesting what comes up. It's kind of not quite what you expect. And for me, traveling on the road, what came up was actually the topic of road rage. And that was really, really interesting, which is the fine and subtle art of not taking personally other people's driving. And I think that's one of the places that I leak power a lot. And it's something that I actually work on, so it makes sense that it's been coming up. I, as an empathic person, it's interesting, like, when we driving is a very primal thing. It's a very animalistic thing. You can actually, I'm sure when you drive, you actually are highly intuitive. You can read the motions of the other cars. At least I do. I mean, I know exactly what everybody's doing because I can read the motions of cars. And so one part of where I leak in driving is actually not creating that barrier of my being, that barrier of self, right? My like I'm leaking, I'm taking on too much, I'm thinking way too much, or I'm interpreting or bringing on the energy of way too many drivers into my field, where I'm either psychically getting an impression or I'm making up what I think they are thinking about the way I'm driving and the moves I'm making. And it's kind of, for me, that's a leak. So I've been sealing that up. Uh-oh, moon alert, hold on. Oh, there it is. Just going right behind that rain cloud, gorgeous. But yeah, that's the subtle one. But the other one was, of course, not taking personal other people's driving habits, where they're cutting you off, they're up your ass, they're doing crazy stuff. And I was doing pretty well until I was on the road for 2 days, and each day the same thing happened. And I learned a fuck ton from it. So not to get too many details, but basically I'm just trying to change lanes, take an exit, and there's just impatience on the road. Like, there's people, you witness them, like, this selfishness is ripe on the road. And that's why it's such a practice. It's a spiritual practice, driving. But I noticed this selfishness, and like, basically there's a guy just up, tailgating me. And as I'm about to make my exit, he's trying to overtake me on the inside and nearly, crashing into my car. That only happened on Saturday. It happened on Sunday. Like both, or I don't even, actually today's Sunday. No, it's 2 days ago. So like Thursday and Friday. Anyway, there was a lot to be learned from that, because I had an immediate reaction of like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I'm actually going to use my car in that moment as a lesson for the other person. So I actually have kind of I want to protect other people. So when I got cut off in a weird, like a scary way, like a dangerous way, like I let that other driver know by, corralling him with my car. I kind of got some crazy driving skills and driving attitudes. And then I was like, okay, this is where the mother lode of good Dharma wisdom comes out. So right, we've all experienced road rage. We've all experienced getting super pissed at someone doing something funky on the road and going like, how the fuck could they be so selfish? Or how could they be so clueless, and just getting super wound up, super out of our peace, super out of our center. And so this is the thing that I did, that I discovered long ago, and it's pretty wild what to do. Okay, so something happens, you're fuming, and you just turn the tables on the whole situation. Because if you notice, when you're fuming, you have to be right. There's an identity that has to win the war, who has to make the right chess move and be on top and teach that person a lesson. And that can make you commit to a situation that ultimately is a situation you don't want to be in. So it's weird how we can get kind of crazy about something and command ourselves to see it through and teach that lesson. And for me, letting it go is not quite the answer either, right? Where you're just sort of, I'll just let it go and be passive. No, here's the ripe opportunity. When you feel all that anger, you can be like, I'm gonna do the one thing no one is expecting. I'm gonna love that person who just nearly caused my death. I am actually, in my heart and in my mind, gonna hug the shit out of them right now as I'm driving forward and continuing on my journey. I am going to not just send them love, but bring them into my heart and hold them and be like, man, that was a silly moment, wasn't it? But I love you. And you are always welcome at my table. And to really generate this field of love, which does the immediate thing, puts you back in your peace, your real peace, your powerful, active peace, rather than like, oh, just let it go, or you stuff it down, or, no. Like love, really get into active utilization and wielding of love in moments where you thought you had to be right, in moments where you thought you had to, give the lesson. Because really, here's the trippy part. Okay, this is the bigger part, other than learning how to love in the moment and not be someone who is committed to being a hater. I'm on a journey. I've got a destiny, a destination. When you, basically in those situations, we can become a paradox super quick. Notice how we're driving along, we're being peaceful, someone does something stupid. We have to just do something as stupid in order to teach them a lesson, right? So for me, that guy pulled a stupid move. Then I pulled a stupid move to show him what it felt like. And look what I did in that moment. I stopped being in my zone. I became a mirror. But becoming a mirror on that level was super dangerous. It took me off my path. It took me off my destination to show this person what was up. And so isn't it weird in situations, whether you're driving or you're having an argument with somebody, there's this weird moment, it's really subtle, where you actually become the thing you hate in order to show it to somebody to tell them not to do it. Does that make sense? So, if you're having like an argument with somebody and notice like, and it's the dialogue's getting really heated and that person's maybe yelling at you, and then you have to yell to say, stop yelling. Like, look what you did. You had to become the thing that you are not wanting to experience anymore from the other person. And I find that a fascinating place, that where it's a trap. I find that to be a trap where we can really be taken off our path by having to be the thing we don't want to be in order to show it and reflect it to somebody else. And I got a note about it here. I'm just going to whip out my iPad. Hold on a second. Here, just look at the moon while I open up my iPad and pull out this note. Okay, that's on lock. That's so beautiful. Yeah, so basically the idea is, don't swap places by becoming the thing you hate. So show some leadership and love. And one of the things that I love you, Moon. The things that I recognized in me, I'm big on the feminine within all beings, and the rising feminine of the sixth sun that's happening. It's the masculine's job to be the safe container for the feminine. I have a feminine within me. In that moment, when I drove reckless in order to teach a lesson, I threatened the safety of my own feminine. And that woke me up really hard. That woke me up really quickly, going like, fuck, I just put in jeopardy my own feminine by almost swapping positions with the person I was having an issue with. And so in that moment, I recommitted pretty quickly to protecting the feminine within me and going like, I have a responsibility. I have a big job. I can't be mimicking the lowest of the low right now. I have a responsibility to show love and to show the high road. And yes, if someone's doing something stupid, even the Dalai Lama will say like, look, if someone's gonna shoot you and they've got a gun, you fuck them up. You stop them. And then you figure it all out later. There is sometimes immediacy that you have to handle. There is a real threat to your life and you handle it. But the way I was handling it in road rage was by mimicking my oppressor. And it did not go well. And the fucking funny thing is, it happened again the next day. Someone pulled the same stunt. And I have this immediate kind of like, whoa, no, you're not. No, you're fucking not. Watch this. I'm just actually going to stop. I shouldn't even tell you what I did. It's bad. But the second time around, the next day, I fucking laughed my head off. I was like, what? Okay, I'm listening. I'm fucking listening. So anyway, we each have a feminine within us, no matter our sex. Protect the feminine. Protect your feminine. And don't swap places with your enemy, because you have your own destiny. That's what I want to tell you. You have your own destiny. Watch out when you're tempted to swap places. Because when you swap places, you swap agendas. You swap destinations and destinies. You have your own destiny. Do not be tempted to swap it out for someone else's pain. So you lose, it's the temptation to lose your own destiny, your destination. And you also, in that process, you lose your own dignity. You lose your center. And dignity is a big thing for me. It's very, very, very important. Yes, Jessica, no swapping. So that stay in your lane. Oh my God. That's hilarious. Stay in your lane. That's all I'm asking. Stay in your lane of your destiny, okay? Stay in your lane of your destiny, and then the moon right there. This is fun for me too, Jessica and everybody here. No swerving in other people's lanes. Stay the course. Know, what your point A to point B is, and, go for it. So just looking at my notes, you lose your dignity and you become the thing that you were rallying against. I didn't like asshole drivers, so I became an asshole driver. Think about all the ways that we can do that in other aspects of life. Stay focused and free in the wild, wild west of possible cosmic collisions. Yeah, again, another reminder that you must be very conscious when you walk outside your door that it is the wild, wild west. The entire cosmos is interacting with you, and it is a shared dream. And sometimes people come into our shared dream who don't have the same agenda. And so to be practiced and ready for that sort of stuff. So I get what else am I saying here? I get the freedom to be well past the selfish stage of life. I get the freedom to be well past the selfish stage of life. I get that freedom. I don't need to be a reactionary tool on the highways of life. I can stay in my center, know my destiny, and keep on moving towards it, you know? Yeah, you get it now? It's subtle. It's subtle how we can trade places with people and lose our own destiny and destination when we go on the attack because we've felt violated. And maybe someone is trying to attempt to violate you, but there is a smoother way of doing it. There's a quicker, faster way of going around, you know, and not getting caught up, not getting snagged in the trap of the lowest common denominator. And what I also wrote is that it's too easy to choose anger. It's the cheap drug or soda pop on the shelf of existence. It's too easy to choose anger. It's the cheap drug or soda pop on the shelf of existence. And what you are seeking is the fine, well-aged wine of wisdom. You know, rather than, yes, being the better person. Yeah, being the better person. And seeing how anger is like, it's like sugar. It's like sugar from 7-Eleven when you want to really get something nice and organic and wholesome. You know, anger is the first, quickest choice. And the example I gave was to choose love in that moment. And not the cheap ass love, not the fake ass love where you're just like, I love you, whatever, la 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 la. No, it's like, come here. Hey, selfish person who's causing danger on the roads or danger in life or danger in your community. Hey, selfish person, I get it. You must be in a lot of pain for you to be like that. You might have a life that is forcing you to be that self-absorbed. I wonder what's going on for you. But either way, maybe it's none of my business, but either way, I can love you. No one has a say in that. No one has a say in how much I can love who I would maybe term as my enemy. No one has a say in that. I get to say how much I love. I can rip my heart wide open and create that field in me. And guess what? Here's the selfish benefit. You get to feel great. You get to feel love. You get to feel healthy. You get to feel in your center. You get to feel the power of that. You are the main benefactor of loving the world. I'll say that again, I like that. You are the main benefactor of loving the world. What else we got in the notes here? So we understand, it's a wild, wild universe. It's the wild, wild west. Anything can happen. So be on guard. And how you react matters, because you can lose your destiny. So again, I don't know what other people's life is like. It could be hell, and that's why they're a dick on the road. But, hopefully that whatever they weave is going to get reflected to them at some point, and they'll have their awakening, and it's not my job to give that awakening, because unless I'm commanded directly to do so. And that's another thing, I don't have a say in people's transformation or timing of that transformation. That's up to their karma. That's up to their lessons. All I can do is be who I am and be true to me. And hey, if it turns somebody on, it turns somebody on. That was their choice. That was their timing. That was their moment, So, what else do we want to say? Yeah, so again, when we do breath work and we do shadow work, things are going to come up, Yeah, people are going to have to do everyone, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to wipe your own ass. You will, and it's going to, There'll be plenty of people to teach you how to wipe your own ass, but eventually you will have to wipe your own ass and do the work and do the breath work and cleanse the negative aspects of your personality from your chigomostok, your cave of power. And when we liberate the denied aspects of ourself, our shadow, then we can fly. We can fly free, and we can become powerful, peerless dreamers, and powerful magicians or powerful people who work with levels of energy that have not been seen on the earth in a long time. And that's where we're headed, is to be able to be powerful wielders of energy that this earth has not seen in a long, long, long time. And I know that I want to play, and I do play my best impeccable game to cleanse the shadow, to cleanse this body, to be lighter and be more responsive to handling this new level. Hey, Wesley Knight. Yep, we're all building the muscles right now. We're all in the psychic gym of life, and we're all building these muscles as we do whatever our practice is. It's every day, right? You know this, Wesley. It's like, get in. You got to. You can't just buy a gym membership and expect the muscles to grow. You got to go in there, and you got to, no pain, no gain, baby. And that's what we're doing, and it's not just once, don't expect, it was interesting actually. I kind of rag on people. I have an opinion about too much psychedelic use, okay? I have an opinion about it, but there is a kind of classic divide between people who do a lot of psychedelic medicine work and people who do more what I do, which is kind of a daily practice of, handling your shit. No opinion there, not opinionated at all. But where was I headed with that? I think like the gym, it's a daily thing. It's not just one ayahuasca session and you're done. That may have cracked the door open and given you an amazing illumination to what is needed, but getting your ass in the gym of life every day is what's up, and no one else is going to do it for you. And you're going to love the muscles that you earned, because those muscles cannot be taken away from you. The hard lessons are yours to keep, the wisdom in those hard lessons is yours to keep, and so that's what's up, and you will be surprised and not surprised when you put in the hours. You do the meditation, you do the breath work, you get the physical exercise, you eat right, you get the right rest, you get your mind aligned out of the matrix and into the connected universe that's just waiting for you to arrive. So that's a nice little rant. What else do I got on my plate? Let's see, just looking at my notes. Clouds in the sky. Sitting here in Sedona, in case anybody just jumped on. It's beautiful out here. Just love it. There was just a nice fresh desert rain that happened. Yeah, I could go on and on. If anybody has any questions, I feel like I've just unleashed a lot, but love to help that. You mentioned eating right. Any favorite foods? I'm a bit on the, here's one of the food tips or the eating habits that I got into, which I like. It's called intermittent fasting. And I think that's changed my life around a lot, where typically intermittent fasting is where you have a window of time that you only eat. Some people do 6 hours, some people do 8 hours. I tend to start eating around noon, and I'll eat up to like 9 o'clock. Some people are more strict with it, but, so that's about a 9-hour window, and I don't eat anything until 12 the next day, and that's amazing. It allows the body to rest and to actually get, and digest everything that you ate the day before. So intermittent fasting is amazing for that. Wesley, you said your heart chakra is blocked. What's a good daily practice to open it? Any stones? I work with the Obsidian. So, and my tagline is cut that shit out. So, part of the work is that, through the Obsidian blade work, I actually do Obsidian Healings. We do cut out, what's no longer serving you. And again, you caught this the last time, there's the 9 levels of hell where, your heart can be caught in, right? But ultimately, anything that we're experiencing, any suffering, is ultimately due to our participation, our trained belief system that that's what we deserve, right? So healing the heart, depending on the situation, can be about discovering, again, going into the Chico Mostok, the cave of your power, and finding where you have created an enemy within yourself or created a belief system that says you only deserve this much when you're actually worth everything, So again, I work with Obsidian. That's my main tool. And I find it's black. It absorbs the negative energy. You can actually find obsidian spheres, and you can just rub that in a manner on your chest, around your heart, and just like concentrate on sending the energy of that negativity into that stone and wiping it away, and then do a little cleansing ritual around that stone to like cleanse the obsidian again. That's just a real basic technique that you can do. But again, breathing, Mr. Knight, when you breathe, it's doing that, taking that stillness practice into the bodily level. So when we're doing our meditations or just breath work, we're breathing from the diaphragm, right? And everybody knows where the diaphragm is. If you haven't really checked out the diaphragm, please go to YouTube and watch how the diaphragm works and how large the diaphragm is. So when we breathe from the diaphragm and we're noticing the air brush against our nostrils and we're quieting the mind and we're sending that breath work down through the open throat and a lifted chest area, find the tension, breathe in the tension and exhale the tension. It can be that simple. We don't have to really complicate our lives. Our breath is very, very powerful. And so breathing in, holding it at the top, just letting that part of your body speak to you, and then exhaling it out. And just work on that and listen. There's a dialogue happening in your body and your mind together. Your body, mind, spirit, there's a dialogue. And so when we quiet down and we meditate, then that gives us the opportunity to hear for the first time, maybe because we've been so busy in the mind, having to do stuff rather than just be the stuff we are and to receive the insights. So it's listening. And so the pains that we feel are a communication. But if we're pushing that communication down, then that's when we're going to get depressed. Our body's going to fuck us up. Something in life is going to take us out of the game until we listen to what's being communicated to us. So developing our practice where we become very good listeners and two-way communication beings, where we're like, I hear you, this is what I'm going to change. I hear you, and this is how we're going to solve it. I hear your needs, and this is how I'm going to maybe stop being so aggressive to myself. Just checking out what you guys are, clear resentments, passion to elevate, to lead more powerfully. Yeah, man. I hope that answers that in some regard. Here, let's flip to the moon. Yeah. Get in touch with that. Get in touch with the rhythms, right? This is a big, important thing. Yeah, I hope that helped, Mr. Knight. Here's one of the parts of the breath work that I'm doing in the Black Tezcatlipoca is that there is a rhythm. This is a conscious universe, and that conscious universe operates on sacred mathematics and the sacred rhythm. And so, pretty obvious, right? Human species on a mass level doesn't look like it's in rhythm with that universe, does it? So there's a real art to getting in rhythm with the larger bodies of the heavens that are in plain sight. So being in rhythm with the 28-day cycle of the moon, being in rhythm with the rising and the setting of the sun, and being in rhythm for the Toltec and the Mayans, they were also in rhythm with the Palladian star system, and they were really in rhythm with the planet Venus. For them, Venus and the moon were the symbols of the dream time. And so they paid extra special attention to the cycles that those planets and those star systems did. So again, there's a rhythm to the universe that's all around us. How well are we paying and playing attention? Are we playing attention? I kind of like that, actually. Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention to the rhythm of the universe? Because it's all around us. And you're either doing it or you're not doing it. You're either caught up in the matrix or you're not caught up in the matrix. And if you're caught up in the matrix, how can you bend your business or your lifestyle, because you're free to do so, to the rhythm of the conscious universe? You can build your business around the moon cycle. I am. You can build your business around Venus. I am. You can build your business around the Palladian star system. I am. You know, there's no reason why it's a Monday to Friday thing, or it's a Gregorian calendar thing. You know, like, again, picking up our cues from the natural world rather than the man-made, made-up shit. I'm gonna listen to Thunder Mountain. I'm gonna listen to the moon, you know, and run my business that way. I know. I really like saying shit that impresses me too. Because in truth, I'm along for the same ride as you are. I'm like, oh, I'm just opening up the TV show, the Cracker Jacks box, and like, I'm thoroughly thrilled and surprised at what's going on around me as well. And there is so much more coming down the pipe. You know, again, you know, the dawn is still yet to come, but it's on the way. And again, part of that big picture is becoming more powerful energy wielders than this earth has ever seen. And so tuning into the natural rhythms of the universe is pretty key in helping with that, you know. Well, it's getting dark here. I think it's about 8 o'clock here. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's gorgeous. I'm so glad we got to hang tonight. I'm probably gonna jump off. I'm gonna go get a little snack before my intermittent fasting window closes. But if you haven't checked out intermittent fasting, it's a pretty cool thing. I dig it. And also when I wake up in the morning, just another health tip, you know, drinking fresh lemon and Celtic sea salt water. That helps cleanse the palate and kick off the system. Yeah, cool. I'll DM you, Mr. Knight. That sounds great. That'd be awesome. I love your work. Kirsten, so good to see you. So good to see everybody on here. Jessica, trying to find me. I'm glad everybody's been hanging out. Leo Rising 21. Much love, everybody. And stay your course. Stay true to your destiny. Don't change lanes. It's not worth it. Go straight ahead and ignore the road rage of life. That was a pretty good ending. All right, I love you all. I'll see you next week. Much love. Bye.